And so can you talk a little bit about what is Moonbird?
Yeah, so I actually have a product here for the people that are watching
Yeah.
the video. So it's a physical handheld device. So you hold it in the palm of your hand. There's a little light as well, which is a heart rate sensor. And so you hold it in the palm of your hand. And after a couple of seconds, if you shake it, it will start to expand and contract. You see that? So it's
Mm,
expanded
yeah.
now, and then it contracts again. And so you hold that in the palm of your hand and you literally feel how it breathes. It expands and contracts. And when it expands, it signals you to breathe in. And when it contracts, you need to breathe out. So you try to mimic the
Okay.
movement of the device with your breath as well. You sync your breathing with the device. And this makes it just super intuitive to follow the cues of the device. So you don't have to think or count anymore. You don't have to use a meditation app. You just feel how you need to breathe.
Super interesting. Are there like different techniques for different goals? Like I don't know if I want to improve my sleep or if I want to improve my focus or something like that.
So you can combine it with an app as well. That's
Okay.
included in the price. And through the app, you can select different breathing exercises. So there is always one that's downloaded on the device, but you can change the settings of that exercise. There's, for instance, an exercise for sleep where the exhalation is longer than the inhalation because this triggers the
Mm.
parasympathetic nervous system even more. We have the box breathing exercise where you inhale, you pause, you exhale, you pause again. And you can completely also customize the Moonbird. So mine is, for instance, set at 7 seconds in, 7 seconds out. So that's a very deep or long breathing exercise. And I really need that because I that's like the exercise that works best for me to fall asleep.
That's amazing. I love it. So how the idea came from creating this? I mean, yeah.
I was like literally lying awake in my bed thinking of breathing exercises work. That's scientifically proven. And there are so many people that are applying this. I'm lying awake in my bed and I can't keep my focus on these exercises. I'm
Yeah.
convinced that they work. I know that they work. I just need to be able to apply them. And I can't do that on my own. So I need something to guide me. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try all the apps. And I love Headspace. I love Calm.
Yeah.
They're great. But when you're having sleeping problems or a panic attack or anxiety, you don't want to grab your phone and be on your
Yeah.
smartphone. So I was in like, okay, we need something non-digital, non-smartphone like. And that's the moment that I came on the idea of like a mom cradling a baby to sleep and the
Mm.
baby feeling that the mom is really calm and the baby like literally mimicking almost the mother breathing really slowly and that the baby
Mhm.
calms down because of this, connection and this power of touch.
Oh.
And so using that sense of touch is actually easy for our brain. It doesn't require too much brain power and it's why we as humans hug. It's why children have
Mm.
a teddy bear. So this idea of feeling how you need to breathe and just breathe along with it is just really easy for the brain. So we started with this idea for the device, and then we reached out to doctors because we always thought it
Mhm.
was important that we don't develop a product just because we like something. We thought it was really
Yeah.
important that it's endorsed and accepted by the clinical community as well. So that's really one of the first things that we did was like we went to doctors, we introduced this idea to them, and we said like, what do you think of this? We got the feedback from clinicians saying like this could be a game changer. This is like non-pharmaceutical, potentially high impact and a lot of use cases because and sleeping problems and anxiety and stress and so many other things. And they were really there in the process when we started developing the product. So we had some prototypes, we tested them with end users as well. From the beginning, we have always went to our end users and collected feedback from them, optimized prototypes, changed the shape, changed like the size and so on. And then, ultimately had like an MVP, sold 250 of those, assembled
Mm.
them ourselves at the attic
Nice.
of our parents, very startup like. And then we shipped them. We got more feedback. We sold 1,000 units. We got more feedback, and that's how we really ramped up production and where we are now today.
That's amazing. And so what are the common feedback that you get from the users?
It's actually pretty magical sometimes to see what the impact is from people, and it ranges from people buying the product for themselves and then eventually saying like, and now my 10-year-old daughter is using it and falling asleep
Nice.
with it, so we bought a second one. or some people like sometimes very touching and emotional stories of people having surgery and then saying this helped them in the rehabilitation process. Overall, just very nice feedback. We have a lot of positive reviews as well, and we have never faked a review. They're all real. We have, in general, also quite low return rates, which I also think is important, that we really push for people to like try the product, because we have a 30-day trial period. You can like try it at home. If you don't like it, you just send it back. And we do not have a lot of returns. So that for me, although that we do not hear from every customer, says that they want to keep it.
If I use Moonbird regularly, how can I know that it's working for me and it's like effective on my health and stress level and everything?
A very good question. So there are people that just use the device and they literally feel themselves getting calmer. But there are also people that are a bit more hesitant, or that they lost a bit of connection with their body, right? And that's the reason why we built a sensor in the device as well, as you can see it here. So there's this green light in the device. So when you hold the device, the Moonbird, and you use it together with the app, we display your heart rate in real time. And so then you will see that when you're doing these breathing exercises, after a while, you get the sinus curve of your breathing rate also appears in your heart rate. So you actually see that your heart rate and your breathing rate start to synchronize. And that's what we call, coherent breathing. So we display heart rate variability as well. That's the variations between heartbeats. And we see that doing breathing exercises, your heart rate variability goes up as well, as the same as you go running or doing some sports. But breathing exercises are actually a very efficient way to increase your heart rate variability. And so that's really the biofeedback component that we put in the device as well. And that's there for people who really want to be convinced and see the science in real time.
Okay. So why is it so important to have this biofeedback?
The biofeedback really shows you the impact of the breathing exercise on your body in real time. So that's nice for people who are a bit skeptical. And then as well, you can see that if you practice more over time, you can see in your stats, you can see in your data that your heart rate variability is increasing over time. I love the biofeedback component, but once I saw it and once I saw the impact, I was like, okay, I feel that in my body as well. And I see it, it's there. So I don't need it anymore to be convinced. But we have lots of people that always use a Moonbird with a biofeedback component, because they always want to see, am I doing this correctly? Am I improving over time? Is this better than the previous time? And so on.
And so do you have like users that use Moonbird regularly just for stress relief and stress management?
So we do like a check-in question on how you feel emotionally and physically before and after an exercise as well. And so we have over the past 4 years collected a lot of data from people doing these exercises. And we indeed see that almost everybody feels better after doing the exercise. And if you feel bad in the beginning, so if you have a low mood, the effect is more pronounced. So then you like increase by 20 or 40% on average after doing just one session.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we see that these effects are sustained over time. And then after like 20 sessions, they plateau a bit. So that's really nice to see that we can actually see in the data that people who practice more have better effects. And if you feel lower or less good in the beginning, the effects are more pronounced.
Merci à vous pour votre écoute. Et si le podcast vous a plu, n'hésitez pas à vous abonner, à liker cet épisode et surtout à nous suivre sur tous les réseaux sociaux sous le nom de Bien-être simple. On donne encore plus de conseils bien-être là-bas. Je vous dis à bientôt pour transformer votre vie, un épisode à la fois.